the pretty ones. I have a haul for you guys. And apparently it's gonna rip my heart out.
A bug flew into my ear.
This video's canceled. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Normally I judge books by the genre. I have something picked. I'm specifically going through our physical TBR or whatever the case may be. I normally have kind of a more specific theme about like the substance of the content of a book, what's inside. I'm not judging books because I already know what these books are about, but only reading books that I have deemed gorgeously done. The cover, the pages. We are only going to be reading books that I would deem the pretty ones. I'm very excited because some of these editions are just so gorgeous, and I have been so excited to not only own and hold and be able to keep these books, but also to be able to show you guys them. So the first book that I'm going to be showing is a book that we got a very long time ago, to the point that I have completely forgotten what happens in the first book. We have Foxglove, because not only is the cover obviously gorgeous, very stunning, obviously, the thing that makes this book, in my eyes, a pretty book is the inside. So take off the dust jacket and we have one of, if not the most pretty, what is this, like a naked hardcover. I just think that this is so well done. The entire series is honestly so well done. So this is the naked hardcover. Like, it is the most beautiful, like so well done. And I'm not sure if this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive or if this is just the regular version. I don't quite remember because we were getting these from half price, so we were getting them secondhand, so I don't know exactly what edition they are. Then also when you open the book, this is just beautiful, and all of the books are like this. This is the first book that we're going to be reading, and again, this is in a series, so this is the second book in the series. The first book was Belladonna, and I don't remember what happened in Belladonna. I'm gonna have to Google it. I read literally, I think, a page of this and had to stop because I have no idea what's going on. So I'm gonna do that real quickly. There's just a lot that I need to reacquaint myself with, and I found a website. It's recaptains.co.uk, but it has bullet points of literally everything that happened in the story, so that's nice. I'm gonna go through this. I have a haul for you guys, which I definitely shouldn't have. I've made many comments recently that we have way too many books on our hands, but we couldn't help it. We were near Barnes that we don't normally go to. Whenever we're near a bookstore we don't get to frequent, the pull to go in there is even stronger, and especially knowing that it's a Barnes and I could just picture exactly what's in there and I could get, and that 50% off sticker is sitting on some of these books. It's out of my hands. So here's what we got. First thing that we got is The Rose Bargain. This is by Sasha Payton Smith. It is everywhere. Like, I have seen so many other booktubers rave about it, read it, love it, and especially when a book is YA and people are obsessing over it, I am especially intrigued because I feel like regular, like adult fantasy, there's so many standards to it that if a YA fantasy can break through, I just really notice it. This I've heard compared to like Bridgerton vibes is all I really know about it, and I don't know too much else. When I first heard about it, I looked into it, but since then I have forgotten, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I just know that it piqued my interest enough to continuously be something I'm thinking about. Sam says that she's had this book on her want to read list. I have absolutely no memory of this book ever, but this is The Will of the Many by James Islington. It's a thickie. It's a big boy. To compare it to The Rose Bargain. Oh my god. Returned. No, just kidding. So, but at least it's floppy, so hey, it gets half points. Again, another one, I don't really remember what it's about. It doesn't have like an obvious romantic interest or romantic experience. There's like an academy and like something like that. So the fact that there isn't romance directly on the back makes me think that it might be a fantasy without romance in it. I could be wrong. And then the last book that we got is another one with the 50% off sticker, and this is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. And I have seen Larry specifically talk about this book, rave about it. Also, the main character, her name is Ariana, but I'm assuming it's Ariana because most people pronounce it Ariana, but it has two N's. We'll move past it, but that is a romance book, and apparently it's gonna rip my heart out. So that'll be nice. When I feel like crying over a non-personal reason, I'll get into it. That's my haul. But in terms of Foxglove, we've started reading it, and I'm still mad at myself for the fact that I have not read this sooner. Like, I'm just so angry because I know that I'm doing myself a disservice, and I know that there are going to be so many more books that I feel this way about because we're going to start chipping away at our series list, or in the middle of series list. I keep reading. I will let you know how far I get.
You say you don't know where you go, so come keep flying away, away, away. Ooh, lost in your world. Ooh, memories of hope. Ooh, lost in your world. Ooh, looking for hope.
Bugs. You guys, we have terrible news. Well, Sam has terrible news.
We were having a nice picnic and then it ended so horribly. A bug flew into my ear.
Specifically, an earwig flew into her ear. Not just crawled, flew into her ear so fast, so aggressively that it got stuck and lost.
I couldn't
And
see it.
when I mean lost, I mean I had a flashlight in her ear, multiple angles, trying to see 2 separate times at the beginning of the meltdown and towards the end of the meltdown, trying to figure out what was in her ear that she was panicking, because she just immediately started like
Freaking out.
yeah. I'm reading and she's sitting next to me and all of a sudden she just starts going like ah, 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 whatever, and like starts crying and like messing with her ear. And so I'm thinking that like something is biting her, like a spider is on her, like I'm thinking that something's stinging her. No. So I eventually figure out that there's something in her ear from her being able to tell me, because like again it's like mid panic, and I'm looking in her ear multiple times, still can't find anything. Luckily, Sam was able to.
I kept feeling like something was like in there.
Yeah, because
like, I
then
don't see anything, but I'm like, I think it's still there. I'm like, I thought it, because like I saw it from like the corner of my eye, and I was like, I think it's big. And then like I'm just like leaning over it, and then like I kind of tug my ear a little bit, and then I kind of do like a suction thing, and then it falls.
It fell out and it was huge. I didn't know what it was, and I was worried that it was like a wasp or something, and so I immediately like killed it to make sure that it didn't fly back at her, whatever. Normally I don't kill bugs, but this one unlawfully entered my fiance, so it had to go. Yeah.
It like came right at me, guys.
Upon,
like I had no chance.
No, it just, and it went deep. Like, and upon like reflection, taking the photo, looking, comparing to all the other things, it was definitely an earwig. I originally had thought that it was a flying ant, but it definitely had pinchers in the bottom. Because I didn't know they had wings, and they do. So
it's supposed to be a myth that they go in your ear.
But she literally had it happen, like for real. Now you can say that you have actually heard of when someone has had this happen to them, because you know Sam.
That used to be like a thought when I was younger. Like,
what if it crawls, and now you know what it feels like. Because the part that literally is killing me is that when it first went in and like wriggled into her ear, she's panicking, whatever. Then she was able to calm herself down and is just kind of like going like this, like twitching, and it's because she was feeling and hearing it deep in her ear. And then she had calmed down, but then she kept going like this because it was like wriggling around in there and she could hear it. And then she kept saying like she still thinks it's in there, but I couldn't see anything. So then we're like convincing her it's not in there, but she swears it was in there. And then when she did the thing and it fell out, it literally was so big it bounced off of her and hit the, like it was that big. And then I see it start to wriggle away, and then she is like instant tears, because who else wouldn't sob at the fact that it was in her body? And I'm laughing because it's such a horrible, like, it's supposed to be a myth. It's supposed to be something that, like, oh, an old wives' tale.
How am I supposed to go back outside?
No, how is she supposed to recover? We're literally looking into mosquito net hats.
Yeah.
It was this big. So the fact that it was lost in there.
It's
Hide your kids, hide your wives. The earwigs are flying. So yeah, that abruptly ended our cutie little picnic. And before then, we were having the cutest time. Like, I'll put up pictures. We were having a little photo shoot. We were being so cute.
And that had to happen.
And then Samantha girl was attacked.
I literally was like attacked. Like, what the
Yeah. And I'm sorry to provide you with nightmare fuel, but it was just, it's too crazy not to tell. It's too crazy not to tell the story. Everyone,
it was so sad.
Everyone say, I'm so sorry for your loss, Samantha, in the comments. Update time. Big news. I finally got through this book. I feel like it makes it sound like I didn't enjoy it, but I did. I'm giving it a 3.5. Overall, I liked it. I do think that the speed of it was kind of what made it not like super fantastic experience. From the first maybe like 50-ish pages, I could see where the entire plot was going. And then throughout the story, I started to like second guess myself, thinking, was it too obvious? And now I'm gonna be annoyed at the plot. Like I started to worry about it. Everything worked out the way I wanted. Everything worked out the way that I had assumed it was going to. So it's kind of satisfying, honestly. Next, I'm so excited. So I've already started this because I needed something to listen to at work. But we are reading Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. This book is gorgeous. Now, this is one of the books that I think has been like the only time where we really only bought it because it was beautiful. Like, we ended up reading the back, obviously, and we didn't just buy it because it was gorgeous, but it was the type of book where we saw it and immediately were like, oh my gosh, we love that copy. We immediately felt drawn to it solely based on judging it by its cover, judging it by the sprayed edges. I think we talked about it right when we bought it. I don't know if it ended up in a vlog or not because I've had to like scrap a couple videos recently, so I don't know if it ended up being talked about in a vlog. I think so. The inside artwork is absolutely so beautiful. And then like the sprayed edges and stuff. And then the inside on this side is also done. It is so highly rated. I think it's around a 4.5. I'm 17% through. I think that the main female character, she's very, very funny. So the way that this whole fantasy system works is there are multiple kingdoms all near each other, and way back when they had like this mass treaty signed where the way that they are able to survive this monster kind of like migration, I think is what they keep calling it. It's basically like monsters that were made by gods that are migrating almost like birds is how I'm like explaining it, or like how I'm like picturing it. But I guess the way they survive and like fight along all these monsters is by this treaty that they have, and basically they have trading routes and trade within each other, and kind of like rules like you can't take each other over and stuff like that. But the other thing is that they each will marry off someone per generation. It has to be royalty. If you're like the king or queen or whatever, when you have kids, you pick your sparrow, and that kid is the one that will go and marry someone else from a different kingdom and kind of keep the treaties all working. They like switch off between which kingdom it is. So her character is very interesting in the sense that she has a mouth on her, which I find very refreshing. I think it's pretty funny. She's cursing and she's not very like stereotypical princessy. She likes to jump off cliffs and like get all dirty, and she really likes swimming and stuff like that. But she's also very timid and shy and wants to be picked by her parents. So you kind of have like those conflicting characteristics about her, which I find very interesting. But she's sassy, and that is very, very funny to me. It's very rare that I really enjoy main female characters. I feel like more often than not, they're like kind of cringy or kind of annoying, or they're overdone in some way. But I do have a very specific guess on where this plot is gonna go, and I'm really hoping that I'm right, because that would be probably my best work in terms of guessing very early on. But I will be honest, if I end up being wrong, I'll tell you guys if I end up guessing incorrectly. But I have like such a strong inkling on where this is going to go. So I'm going to read more, and I'll update you probably tomorrow when I'm able to say more about like my feelings in terms of like middle of the book-ish. This man is literally insane. Okay, so backstory. Also, I look crazy. It's early, whatever. I know that when I'm editing this, I'm gonna be like, girl, run a brush through your hair, but it is what it is. The romance side of this romantasy is a little confusing because you have the princess who obviously got like, I guess the right word would be like sacrificed, given, traded, I don't know, given as part of the treaty to a prince. But the prince has this, he's not a guard, he's like a warrior, and he's called the Guardian, and he is, I don't know how to describe him, but we have like the prince, the Guardian, and the princess. So the princess is already married to the prince, but she's having all these interactions with the Guardian, and the whole aspect of it is very odd. So I'm very curious to see if we have like a love triangle going on, or if it's gonna end up being like an enemies to lovers with the Guardian. I'm not quite sure, but it's very, very amusing. The Guardian is very cocky, loves pushing her buttons, and is kind of always bothering her in some kind of way. But otherwise, it is so fun. I could totally see why this book is rated as highly as it is, and it might be one of my favorites of the year, I think. Like, it's really at that level. Right now, I'm on chapter 19. I just got there, and I'm 154 pages in. It is really, really good. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm probably going to get through a decent amount of this today. Also, like, this book is just stunning. I was thinking about it and I just feel so lucky to be able to read from books that look like this. It is obviously fun and all to read on Kindle and audiobooks or whatever, but holding a beautiful edition of a book that you're really enjoying is really just quite the experience. And I feel so lucky that I get to, you know, be able to purchase books like this. I mean, obviously it's something that we budget for, and by no means are we just like rolling in the dough, but just being able to have these is very, very, very amazing. So anyways, I'm feeling grateful that I can read these books and excited about this story. I'm on my break at work, so I can't really discuss, but I was right. The thing I said earlier, I was right. Oh my god, I was right. Oh my god. You probably can't hear me. And the last clip you saw was me in the same angle hollering from work. I'm gonna finish the book you really can't see me. I'm gonna finish the book any second. It's definitely a 5. I'm freaking out and I'm not in the position, obviously it's so loud, I'm so sorry. I'm not in the position to be able to show you guys or talk to you guys because I'm sitting outside and I don't want to move, but I'm dying. This book is so good. This book is so good. Do you hear me? This book is so good. You need to read this book. It is the best fantasy I've read in so long. Oh, hello, booty. Ew. Just know that this book is perfect. I'm obsessed with it. I can't handle what's happening. I genuinely feel like I'm going through like serious heart trouble because it's so good. I wish this wasn't such a chaotic clip. You know that this book is good when I am incoherent. I have to go. But just know I'm freaking out. Okay, I'm freaking out. I can't. Oh my god. I'm unwell. You guys, I crashed out so hard. This video's canceled. So basically, if you didn't know, well, obviously by this point you've already gotten a black screen telling you a sad tale about how I freaked out about the ending of a book. I have finished Shield of Sparrows. I'm taking my bookmark out because this book is over. I am now in post-perfect book depression. Post-book slump. So the book was perfect. I have not been this blown away by a fantasy in a very, very long time. Like, obviously I've been rating fantasy books highly recently. Don't get me wrong. This book is so different than other books I've read recently. It's a romantasy that had a enemies to lovers that made sense, which it almost never does. It almost never is warranted, and the enemies always feels forced, but this one didn't feel forced. The slow burn made sense. The plot twists were so good. I mean, I was right earlier on when I first started the book. Literally I don't remember how far I was when I told you guys about it, but I guessed what I guessed within the first 20 to 30 pages, and that was like the big plot twist, and I was still really happy. Normally when I guess something super early on and then I end up being right, I'm like, well, it was a little predictable. Still felt like I could just love the story. Like, the journey was that good that I'm not sad that I was able to guess it so soon, and like the timeline of it made sense. Oh, everything was so good. I just felt like the entire book was so big. It's over 600 pages. The book was so big, and I still felt as equally entertained and involved in the story and wanting to race through it from beginning to end. There was no slumpy point. There was no lull. There was no where I felt like, okay, well, come on. Like, the entire time, I just felt like I was absorbing the world, the fantasy, the romance, the plot twists, the kind of mystery aspect behind it. The entire time I was so involved in the story. So 5 stars. Absolutely perfect, amazing, stunning, beautiful, gorgeous. One of the best books I've ever read, in my opinion. Tell me this, when was the last time that you read a fantasy that like blew you away, that wasn't involved with dragons, some sort of trial, like a powerless Hunger Games type trial, or a big rebellion? I'll wait. Or a war. Let me know, because I can't think of a single book recently, or at all, that didn't have those main tropes. Like, it's just kind of what's been done in fantasy so many times over and over, and while it's still good and people can do it right and wrong or whatever the case may be, I just felt like I'm speechless is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, but also rightfully so, I am ending the video now. I was supposed to read The Night and Its Moth, and I just think that I will not give that book its fair shot. I think that I am too obsessed with this world and hyper-focused and sad that it's over, sad that I have to wait for a while because this book just came out and it's part of a series. I just think I can't jump into another fantasy. Too obsessed with this. So I'm gonna end this video now. I think I need a second to not read. I just don't think I'm gonna rate anything well. Right now, I think I'm just way too heavy fixated on this. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so, so much.